It's the best time of the year, right? I mean, it's not Christmas time. It's fall. Football is here. For people like me who really really love the NFL much more than college. This is like this is Christmas for me. I'm more excited. We're gonna have appetizers, little finger foods that you have at parties, and it's just me, my wife, and my kid. Do you do anything special on
Awesome.
days like today, Sully?
No, man, my life's been pretty busy the last little while, and I'm packing up my trailer for the season, and that kind of didn't go as planned yesterday. So we'll do this. I'll watch the Vikings stomp the Giants, and then I'll head back out there to finish that up. But typically, week one for me is, this into a full day of football and eating a bunch of crap food and maybe a couple of adult beverages and just enjoy the day. It is a great day. It seems a little bit different this year with a Thursday and a Friday game. So, some of my matchups already are not looking the greatest. Playing up against Saquon in a few who looks like he might score 50 times this year behind that line. But no, it's just a great day. There's just a day. It's kind of like first day of school where you walk in and you're full of optimism and you're just happy to be there and happy to be back. Like you said, it's a great time of the year, and I'm very much looking forward to this football season, despite the fact my team probably isn't very good.
Yeah, I'm not even representing my team. I mean, right now I'm just kind of like, what do I do until Drake May gets to start? I'm a Patriots fan. I guess I hope the rookie wide receivers develop or something, because it's not really going to be very fun to watch. I imagine it'll be very similar to last year, low scoring games, because the defense is good, and then offense can't get worse. I mean, I wouldn't think it could get much worse, but we're going out there with Jacoby Brissett. But the nice thing about some of these veteran guys that really have nothing to lose is they'll just go out there and sling it, like we saw Joe Flacco do at the end of last year. So I'll probably get more excited by week 2 or 3 or 4, whenever Drake May gets to go in there. But I am happy that he is not starting the year, because I feel like when you do that, you put a lot of pressure on rookies to win, and the Patriots are definitely not built to win right now. So when you take that away, and then you can just focus on maybe getting better and getting relationships with those wide receivers, I think that'll help some of these younger guys right out of college. We already got a question. Nice. Dollar Bill DDB. Who would you sit? So sit one of these guys: Zamir White, David Montgomery, or Raheem Mostert. Full PPR. Who would you sit out of those three?
I'm going to sit Mostert here. I have him ranked the lowest this week. It's tough. Obviously, I think most of us would like to have all of these guys in our lineup. I think Miami's going to split that backfield up pretty big, and I think Jalen Wright's going to be involved early as well. I think they're going to want to see what they have there. So I think Achan's going to take the lead role. I don't think any of them is a 20-something touch guy. The only thing that gives me pause is Mostert is the goal line back, and he could score a couple of times, but I like Zamir White. I think he's a volume play. We all know what Montgomery can do in that Lions backfield. So for me, I'll sit Mostert, and I'll just hope that I'm right.
Yeah, this one's tough for me. I like Zamir White out of all of them, just because what you said, path to touches. If any of these guys are getting 20 touches, that's definitely Zamir White over the other 100%. Two. And we saw what he could do last year when Jacobs went down. He did basically everything that Jacobs did, it seemed like, and he was getting a decent amount of pass work. And Gardner Minshew does like to dump the ball off, so he could be very sneaky little PPR use. I'm a big Zamir White guy. I drafted. He was like one of my late second, third round picks in rookie drafts the year he came out, and I've been holding on to him since, and finally get to cash in on that value 3 years later. That's better late than never. So I guess with that, I think I'm going to join you here. And go sitting Mostert. Rick says Monty is the must start out of the three. Yeah, his touchdown upside's just both of those guys, Montgomery and Mostert's touchdown upside's the highest, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, just the way the Lions have been utilizing their power backs, even since who was it? Jamal Williams was there. I mean, the touchdown machines. So
and that game with the Rams should be a very high shooting kind of run and gunnish type. I don't think either one of their defenses is quite set yet. I think Stafford's always motivated when he plays the Rams, and Goff is when he plays the Lions, and Goff is motivated when he plays the Rams. We saw that last year in the playoffs. Rick's next comment is a huge point and makes a lot of sense as well, is that Gibbs isn't exactly 100% either, and Monty's involved whether he's 100% or not. But I have Montgomery ranked the highest of them all. I have him at 19. I have White at 24, and I have Mostert down at 36. So I still Mostert. There's always that home run capability there. Anybody in that Miami team gets the ball in their hands, they can go to the house. So, but I just think that, if you play it safe, it's probably the way to go to sit Mostert. But yeah, I guess that's a good problem to have. Those are good, 3 good guys to have in your team.
It's going to be interesting to see the the guy I steered clear of this whole offseason was Devon Achane, because I don't like how murky the usages in that backfield right now. I mean, it's so unknown. And then when he did get a lot of work last year, it seemed like he was kind of injury prone because he is a smaller back. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like you're right where they're just going to do a committee, and why not have super, super fast running backs that are always fresh on the field for you?
I think so. And I am with you on Achane. Like, anybody who follows my Twitter knows that I feel that Devon Achane was the most overvalued fantasy asset this season. I think he's way too high in his ADP, and I could be wrong but I'm a big believer in regression's a real thing. Achane's not going to average over 7 yards a carry like he did in his rookie season. And he's never going to be a 15, 20 touch guy. He's going to be a 12 to 15 touch running back, and he's going to have to be that efficient to deliver a return on that investment. And that's just not an investment I was going to make.
Yeah, I should clarify. I don't dislike Devon Achane. I think he's super talented. It's just his ADP was like astronomically high for me.
It's too expensive
for a guy that's going to be in a committee. I've seen him go sometimes in the second, third round of redraft leagues. That's way too high. I would want him as like my RB2 and then be like a lower end one. So
especially when you could get Mostert in like round 8 and Jalen Wright in probably round 12. So to me,
Jalen Wright's going undrafted in a lot of
there you go.
In redraft leagues, I should say.
Correct.
Yep, no problem. Dollar bill DDP. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask them. We're gonna be here till probably close to kickoff, probably 10 minutes prior. So goofing around, talking football. Rob Kane, he said, "What's up, guys?" earlier. Guys, he comes seems like every Sunday, every year. Rank these guys as potential starts: Singletary, Javonte, Deontay Johnson. I imagine Chalmers.
I'm not sure who that is.
Ford. Yeah, who's Chalmers? Clarify who Chalmers is for us. Okay. So
could be Chandler, maybe? I don't know. So it looks like sort of all running backs, except for the mystery one there, right?
Well, Deontay Johnson?
Right. Yeah. Sorry. He's a wide receiver. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now Palmer. Okay. So this is obviously a flex question. He must have like 2 flex spots. Wants to see which ones he'd have. Who would be your number 1 out of all these options?
I think it's Javonte Williams. I think Bo Nix is a check down machine, and I think that there's going to be a lot. And Sean Payton targets his running backs like crazy. So
I hope you're right.
I think it's Javonte, and then it would be Singletary, Deontay, Palmer, Ford.
Interesting.
I'm just winging it. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I honestly, I want to say Javonte is my 1 as well, and then I think I'm going to go with Deontay Johnson as my 2, Palmer as my 3, Ford at 4, and then I'll go Singletary at 5.
Interesting.
Honestly, they're all good. They're all good flex options. I don't think any of these guys are significantly higher than the others.
I think Ford's in tough against Dallas, but
yes, that's why I have him ranked like second to last.
And Singletary can run on Minnesota a little. Like, we're not the greatest run defense in the world, but we're also not the worst. It's our secondary where you beat the Vikings. So
true.
And I just don't trust Bryce Young to get Deontay going.
I mean, Josh Palmer is like a sneaky guy. I feel like hasn't been talked about much this year. I mean, when Mike Williams went down every other week, it seemed like that dude always stepped up as a solid option for him. For Herbert and always produced well when he was like the second receiver on his team. I don't know how he'll do maybe potentially as the number 1 because usually you'd have to draw better coverage corners, but then again, opposing teams might think, well, all these receivers really aren't that great. We'll just put our DBs on whatever side they prefer. I don't know how all that shakes out. It's it's week 1. There's a lot of questions to be answered.
I think
this
if I'm playing the Chargers and I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm probably looking at trying to stack the box as much as I can because I think they're going to run a lot. I think Ladd McConkey could be sneaky good there in that offense, but when Palmer's competition is Quentin Johnson and Ladd McConkey, he's probably going to get some targets.
Yeah, I just want Quentin Johnson to be decent, so Rick has to, I don't know, eat his words, I guess, but he's not.
Well, he's
just not.
I don't think he is either. It's interesting. It's interesting that the only time that Quentin Johnson did anything at TCU was against Michigan, and that's his coach now. So we'll see. Maybe he just, what were those plays you burnt us on? Let's do those. I don't know, but
he's super good after the catch. It's just catching it is the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. Maybe he can be like Mr. Slant.
The Vikings used to have a guy like that. His name was Cordell Patterson, and then they turned him into a running back. Minnesota wasn't smart enough to figure that out. I think Belichick is the one who figured that out.
Yeah, he just got started used as a Swiss Army knife, and then New England barely used him.
And then I know, right? But then he's good with the ball in his hand, so just give him the ball.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe. QJ is he's too much of a body catcher and looks lazy. But anyway.
And they'll find one video of him making a catch not with his body, and it'll get posted everywhere.
Right.
All right, Josh Sistrunk asks Godwin or Javonte Williams.
I like Godwin here. Godwin moving back into his natural place in the slot. I think he's going to have a big bounce back here. I like them both, but if I had to pick between the two, I would take Godwin over Williams here.
I don't know.
Format matters, right? I'm assuming PPR.
Right. I think I'll just go with Javonte Williams. I'm really hoping that Bo Nix just checks down a lot. Maybe we see Sean Payton try and utilize that one running back like he always kind of has as like a pass catching running back. I mean, obviously he always had like Mark Ingram and Kamara who split and things like that. But Javonte Williams is definitely more of a runner than their other option, McLaughlin.
McLaughlin,
right?
McLaughlin, yeah.
Jaleel McLaughlin, yeah. So I don't know. Javonte's kind of built like a 3-down back, so maybe we'll see more of that usage this year. So I'll go with him. Any update on Chase's availability today? I'm avoiding him like the plague. Personally, I don't know what's going on. That's a whole freaking drama story.
So this morning, the first thing I saw is that he's also sick in addition to this contract, and I don't know if it's just the lack of contract that's making him sick or what the situation is. I think he plays today. I think he's somewhat limited, but I got to tell you, if I have Jamar Chase on my roster, he's starting today. I'm not even thinking about it. And I do have him in one lineup because he has the ability of going 4 for 60 and 2. And that's all he needs to do. Even if he does half that, he's probably better than any other option I have on my roster. So he's in my lineup. I'm not confident about it by any means, but if he's playing for me.
Yeah, it would definitely depend on the options for me. I feel okay benching somebody who's himself saying he's going to be limited. So looks like he's fed up already in all these interviews. Wants a better contract than Justin Jefferson, but hasn't put up better numbers than Justin Jefferson is always funny to me too.
And he doesn't want to beat him by a penny either. Did you see that?
Yeah, yeah. Beat the shit out of it. That's what he said. I'm just thinking, what have you haven't beat the shit out of his numbers? Well, why would you think you get more money if you haven't played as well? I don't know. Strange to me. I mean, I get he wants paid top money. I understand that, but to be the highest paid when you haven't performed the highest is a little interesting.
Oh.
Craig asks, thank God it's not a defensive question. Anthony Richardson or Caleb Williams?
I think it's a good question. I have Caleb ranked below Richardson. I think just the limited amount of things we saw at Anthony Richardson last season, now adding Jonathan Taylor into the backfield with him. I think Anthony Richardson has legit number 1 overall quarterback upside if he can stay healthy and learn to get down and stop absorbing these hits. I think we'll be able to say that about Caleb in a year or so. But right now, I think first start's going to be a little rough. It always is. I'll take Richardson based on the rushing upside.
Yeah, that's all it comes down to for me. I mean, I think Caleb Williams is leaps and bounds better than Anthony Richardson. And we saw what Anthony Richardson can do as a runner, and that helps for fantasy. So this isn't asking who you want for your team. This is who you want in your fantasy lineup. So it's got to be Anthony Richardson, but this answer could easily change down the line. We'll see. Josh did say that the Godwin or Javonte Williams was half PPR. Does that change you to Javonte Williams, or does that keep it as Godwin?
It makes it a lot tougher. I think I still lean Godwin. But okay. Oh man, you asked me that. If somebody asked me that later in the stream, I might say Williams.
Javonte.
It's just the way it works.
Well, another Javonte Williams question. I didn't expect him to be a popular name today. Javonte or Brian Robinson for the flex non-PPR.
In non-PPR, I'm going with the running back. Rookie wide receiver, running back that's going to get probably 15 touches minimum, I think. Brian Robinson. I'm thinking Brian Thomas. My apologies. Non-PPR, both split backfields, Javonte and Robinson. Who's Washington got?
Buccaneers.
Oh, that's a tough D. I think I'm Javonte here.
I'm also Javonte Williams. Another backfield that I'm definitely interested to see how it shakes up with Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler back there. I'm not sure.
I think Eckler's going to be a heck of a lot better than a lot of people think, but I agree. We'll have to see it play out.
Yeah, he's going to be super dependent on. I mean, he has been his whole career on his pass catching out of the backfield. He's really never been that great of a running, like an actual runner. He just at least numbers wise,
pretty average.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, there's only one starting quarterback on this question. So
there's two.
Is Fields starting today?
Yeah.
He is over Russell.
Yeah, Russell reactivated his ham or calf or whatever. So Fields is expected to start. Where Russell Wilson told the organization, I can play if you need me. And I think they told him, no, it's okay. You're good. So I move Fields all the way up to quarterback 15 in my rankings this week. And I might be a little low, to be totally honest. So I have Levis down at 29. So this isn't close for me. It's Justin Fields easily. We've all seen what he can do with his legs in this league, and I don't think it's going to change in Pittsburgh. So
I'm out of it. I drank way too much everybody last night.
You don't have to tell everybody that. I already know.
I'm a little foggy, so I did not even know Russell wasn't playing today. So yeah, Justin Fields for sure. This is kind of easy, actually. I do like Will Levis. So I think he's actually being kind of slept on a little bit. I do too. Coming out of the draft. I thought what we saw last year from him was what you would think you would see from like a rookie quarterback. And if anything, I thought he impressed, and they got him more weapons. I think the Titans might be a sneaky decent team. That whole division, it might be like coming up as, I think the best three divisions in football are all in the AFC, and that division wouldn't surprise me if it shakes out to be like the best division this year outside of maybe the AFC.
The NFC West might have something to say about that, but
with the Eagles, Cowboys, that division?
No, the West is the Rams, the Niners, the Seahawks, and the Cardinals. I think that's a pretty good division out of Arizona.
If the Seahawks and Cardinals start playing a little bit better, they definitely can be one of them.
And the North is nothing special, right? The Lions are good. If Jordan Love misses time, the Packers are just as bad as Minnesota. The Bears will leapfrog Minnesota easy this year. So I don't think that's a screaming good division, though.
Yeah, the Bears. I hope the Bears win that division for parlay purposes. All right, half PPR, start one. Wowzers. This must be nice. Neighbors, Cooper, Tank Dell, or Addison. I think we can probably take Addison off, right? So,
okay. Dell, first of all, nice roster.
Jeez. I wish I had these problems. You've answered first all the time, so let me go.
Cool.
Man, I should also ask: is this Cooper Kupp or Amari Cooper? I'm going to imagine it's Amari because
I assumed it was Amari. That's a good question, though.
Put the last name for everybody else. You know what? I'm going to go with Neighbors. I love Amari Cooper this year, but that matchup is rough today. And Malik Neighbors should just absolutely get peppered. I mean, I can't imagine they don't throw him the ball at least 10 times a game. Tank Dell would have probably be the answer if I want him to be the answer, but that's a lot of spreading around. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, there's just too much unknown there as well. So yeah, I'll go with Neighbors, thinking that he gets the most, probably the most talented out of these guys too.
So real quick, Dak just signed a contract, 4 years, $240 million, highest paid quarterback. So welcome to the $60 million club. Brock Purdy is the happiest guy in the NFL right now after seeing that deal. I think Neighbors gets like 10 to 12 targets today. I think that Cooper is a solid option against a tough Dallas defense. Tank Dell is just too much of an unknown for me, and Addison, with all due respect, doesn't belong in this question. So I'm going to go with Neighbors as well. The Vikings secondary is not good. And by all indications of everything that I've seen out of camp is people are just can't believe how good Neighbors is already. So, yeah, I think he gets 10 to 12 targets today, and he's the guy that I would go with.
Yeah, I think Neighbors just got overshadowed by Marvin Harrison Jr. I think we'd be talking about him so much higher than
there's a lot of guys smarter than me that had Neighbors higher than him coming out in their draft rankings. So I think those three wide receivers that got taken, including Odunze in there with Neighbors and Harrison, are all going to be exceptionally good players.
Yeah, that whole first round of wide receivers and even the second round might all just be huge parts of this. So, since you wanted one, thanks, Greg Rousseau or Jeff Simmons. I'll just go Jeff Simmons. I don't know.
I usually tend to ask Craig these questions, so I'm kind of torn here. Who'd you say?
I just said Jeffrey Simmons.
Oh, okay, I'll take Rousseau so that
I just like the video of him yelling at that guy that was talking crap about him at the radio. That was pretty funny.
Fair.
Ooh, this is a good one. DJ Moore or Jalen Waddle?
It's Waddle for me, but it's super close. I have Waddle a couple of spots higher than Moore. I think I want to see Chicago get their feet underneath them and see where they go with their targets and how Caleb is in his first week. I think season long, these guys are probably neck and neck at the back end of the top 12. But for week one, I got a little bit more confidence in Tua and the Miami offense than I do in Williams and the Bears offense. So I lean Waddle here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to also lean Jalen Waddle here. This is a hard one.
It is.
I think you could really flip a coin here. But, yeah, there's a lot of targets. I want to see kind of who Caleb Williams has a relationship with best.
I want it to be Rome Odunze so bad.
Yeah. It might be, but, I mean, DJ Moore is their number one wide receiver, and Waddle is their number two, but yet he's been playing with Tua for a while. That offense can score at will a lot. So, yeah, I guess I'll go with Jalen Waddle, but I can't fault you for picking DJ Moore.
Wasn't so long ago that you were Jalen Waddle, no matter what the question was.
I was
about a year or so.
I love Jalen Waddle. I mean, I still value him right as a fringe top 10 fantasy wide receiver, dynasty wise. Malik Neighbors or George Pickens? I'm going with Malik Neighbors here. I think Justin Fields coming in might actually kind of hurt Pickens a little bit. But yeah, I'll go with Neighbors.
I don't know why, but I've really never been a Pickens guy, even coming out. I just don't see it. I know he's made some crazy catches, but to me, Neighbors is so much more of a polished receiver, and I get it. He hasn't played it down yet, but I honestly, this one for me is not even close. It's Neighbors.
Yeah, he should just honestly. Neighbors is I feel very, very confident. Like usually, I don't feel confident starting rookies, and they're two rookie. Honestly, there's kind of three rookie wide receivers today. I feel relatively confident in starting, and that's Neighbors, Marvin, and then honestly, my third one is actually Brian Thomas Jr.
Me too.
I feel pretty confident starting him. I think he's the best wide receiver on his team already. I don't think that. I kind of know it, but
I think all the rookies except for Odunze are the best wide receiver on their team.
Yeah, right. And Odunze might be,
and he might eventually will be, but DJ Moore's pretty darn good.
Right. But I feel confident like starting those guys over seasoned veteran guys that we kind of know their thing, because these guys are going to demand targets on their team. Like Neighbors is going to demand so many today.
If you're Daniel Jones, what are you doing? Like seriously, who are you throwing the football to?
The other team usually, it looks like, but there's try Malik Neighbor. Exactly. So it's like, and you almost like hope that the Giants are bad. Well, they're going to be bad, but they're going to be bad this year. And then that means Neighbors is going to be on the field getting targets all damn day.
He's handing the ball off. He's running himself, or he's throwing it to Neighbors. Like I can't see very many other targets going anywhere else there. So we'll see.
Juan asks, full PPR, who do I start? Addison, Ford, James Conner, or Shakir?
So I have this ridiculous infatuation with Khalil Shakir this year, over 300 and something vacated targets in Buffalo. the only wide receiver on the roster that's caught a pass from his quarterback. I think he's absolutely going to eat this year. I think he's got top 24 wide receiver capabilities. I think Addison is in for a season of regression. He scored, I think, 10 times last year. It's not going to happen this year. I love Sam Darnold way more than anybody should, but he's going to regress regardless of who his quarterback is. And I know we're talking week 1, but I think he's in a little bit tough this week as well. Ford, I don't like against Dallas. To me, it's Connor or Shakir, and I'm going to lean Shakir because I'm just infatuated with him.
Yeah, I'm going the other way. I'm going to go with James Conner. I really do like Shakir. And honestly, if you wanted a ceiling play, I would be putting him in over Connor because Shakir does have, who's he going to throw the ball to? Keon Coleman seems like a really cool dude, but I think he might be one of the more overrated wide receivers that got taken in the first, the second round or the first 2 rounds. He's just super inconsistent. So Shakir might be more prevalent in that offense.
Yeah,
and James Conner now having Marvin there helps relieve some pressure off that offense. He might be real sneaky for a lot of dump offs like we used to see from him. So, and we got a super chat. Look at this, sweet,
nice.
Scroll on down. Oh, let me remember my spot here.
I got your spot.
Okay. George Velasquez ask full PPR Pittman or Josh Palmer or Rashid Shaheed, and then Javonte and Ford in the flex.
Okay, so Pittman or Palmer or Shaheed.
Pittman. Yeah, this
Easy.
is Pittman rather easily for me.
Agree.
Now he's got Javonte and Ford in the flex. Would you take out Ford for any of the other 2 options? And I would put Josh Palmer in over Ford.
I would too, and I would maybe even put Shaheed in over Ford.
Really? I think I'd keep Ford over Shaheed, but I would put Josh Palmer in over Ford.
I think Deonta Foreman is going to be way more involved in that Browns backfield. I think Stefanski likes to split it up, and he's going to try to do that. I think Stefanski's going to try to do a poor man's Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb with Ford and Foreman.
Okay.
And Dallas is tough.
That is definitely a poor man's version of that.
Right. So I just think that, other than Olave, Shaheed's about all that Carr has, obviously as Kamara as well, but I would put Palmer in over them. That would be my guy before.
Yep. And thank you, George, for the donation. Anybody who donates or sends money, your question gets skipped. So if you don't want to wait for us to go through all these and you want your answer right away, you can always click on that. I think it's at the top right, if I'm not mistaken, at the top right of our stream, and send us a little super chat in there. And
thanks, George. Appreciate that. And like Bryce is alluding to, we go top down. So throw your comment in there once, we'll get to it. But if you super chat, we're going to jump you to the top because we like money.
Yep. This one's super
That's
easy
where you
for
work.
me.
You got your spot.
Kyron Williams or Devon Achane. It's Kyron Williams for me. I don't know why people are freaking out that he's returning punts. It doesn't matter to me.
He started the season last year returning punts. I have Achane ranked a little bit higher just because of his home run capability, but I have them both in the top 15 this week. I was the guy that liked Kyron Williams last year over Cam Akers, so I don't get things right very often.
You definitely got that one right.
I think it's crazy how people are freaking out about this special teams stuff, and I think it's so overblown. I do think Blake Corum has a role in that offense, but it's to relieve and be secondary to Kyron. Right. Yeah. So first of all, figure out a way to get both these guys in your lineup. Second of all, if you can't, I guess it's Achane, but flip a coin for me, really. I like both of them. I don't know. I just have them ranked a little bit higher. I like Achane's home run capability. So, to steal a page out of your book, ceiling is Achane, floor is Williams for me.
Fair enough. Calvin Ridley or Deontay Johnson? This is a good one.
It is a good one. I have them ranked very close together in like the 30s to, I think Ridley is 38 and Deontay's about wide receiver 40 for me this week. They're close together, but I'll take Calvin Ridley. Hopkins still banged up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Deontay Johnson, number one receiver right now on that team. They got some, I don't know Xavier Legette, what his usage will be right away, but Deontay Johnson's a really, really good route runner. And Bryce Young, I think Bryce Young takes a step forward this year. I know you're a big Bryce Young fan, so
love him. I was wrong. I have Deontay 4 spots higher than Ridley, so Deontay for me as well.
Yeah, Deontay Johnson should be in for a good year. I think he's another
targets. Going to get volume.
Yeah.
Which who knows where
kind
those
of always
targets,
has. He kind of always has.
Those targets might land in the first row, but we'll see.
Ford or Christian Kirk?
Kirk for me.
Man, I don't know. I think I'm actually going to go with Jerome Ford on this one. I think Christian Kirk might be the third best wide receiver on his team now. And I saw in two wide receiver set, or when they're running 2 wide receiver sets, he's out.
Who are the first 2?
Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas Jr.
Okay, well, I'll give you the one, but I don't think Gabe Davis is a better receiver than Christian Kirk. They're different for sure. Kirk's going to be a slot guy. I think Evan Ingram is more of a threat to Christian Kirk.
He's better too. He's the 4th best pass catcher on his team now. Actually, 5th. I get ETN over him. Not as a.
There we go. Drop Christian Kirk. That's what Bryce just said.
I don't know. He's a little bit. He makes me a little nervous this year. I don't really actually have a lot of shares of him, honestly, but I thought
I have one.
Yeah, I think that he might have. I think he might be on like the downslope. I think it's Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas Jr.
And Gabe Davis stinks.
And Evan Ingram. And Evan Ingram for sure. Raheem Mostert or Terry McLaurin?
I'm going to go with Terry here. I think Terry gets pounded with targets, and I think Daniels has the ability to hit him all over the field. So I like Terry.
Who's their number 2 receiver? De'Ami Brown now, probably, right? On the depth chart, I would imagine.
Austin Eckler?
Yeah. Tight ends are Zach Ertz and Ben Sinnott. I don't know. That offense is going to be very interesting to watch too. A lot of unknowns on that team, but McLaurin is the one I feel like is going to get a lot of targets. This might be his best season.
I think it will be. It's his best quarterback.
And it was a 10-man PPR. All right. Justin Fields or Caleb Williams?
I have Caleb ranked higher, and I'm probably wrong, but
man, this is tough.
Caleb's got too many playmakers, in my opinion. He's just got to get the ball in their hands, right? So,
yeah.
And he extends plays so well that things will happen for him. They could both finish in the top 8 this week. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, but I'll go with Justin Fields. I'm just going to take the rushing upside, right? I mean, he is probably the best rushing quarterback in the NFL right now. But
I can't fight you.
Well, actually,
Lamar.
No. After watching how Lamar looked, he looked significantly better than last year running the ball. He
might run for 2,000 yards and have to this year. That offensive line sucks.
Yeah, poor Derrick Henry taking contact before he gets to the line of scrimmage. It sucks because he's not a guy that like gets to his top speed very quickly, or at least it doesn't look like that. But like once he gets like one step past the line of scrimmage, he's that's when he's looking fast, and he couldn't even get to the line of scrimmage without getting touched.
He looks like a very, very touchdown dependent running back, and he did last year too. So it could be close to curtains for him, but we'll see.
Yep, with little to no PPR upside.
0.
Yep, he's the occasional screen is probably it for him. Tank Dell or Malik Neighbors? I think we're both going Malik Neighbors here, right?
I am.
Crazy. I think the known is with Malik Neighbors here.
I love Tank Dell.
Oh, absolutely. I really gonna like Tank Dell next year. I kind of almost hope he has a bad year so he can be a nice buy.
Yeah,
this season.
I'm of the opinion that Stephon Diggs is going to be a lot better than most people think in that offense as well. Like I think he is actually going to be their number 1 wide receiver right there with Nico. But don't discredit Dell because CJ Stroud loves Tank Dell. He's the one that pounded the table for them to draft him in the first place. So, but I just think that those teams like Green Bay and Houston and even Chicago to a lesser extent with that number of weapons, it's just hard. And Malik Neighbors is just going to get targeted to death. So I have to go with him.
Yep. He and Marvin both should be crazy target hogs this year.
Yep.
He said 6 wide receivers or Cooper, Dell, Neighbors, Odunze, Worthy, Addison. Oh, he already started Worthy.
Okay, well, good for you.
Worthy. Yeah. Worthy was a nice start. Only got 3 touches. Just 2 of them happen to be touchdowns.
And you know what? That could be him all year. And the best thing about Xavier Worthy is he keeps all of those defenses honest now, and they can't just load up and try to take away the short pass. You saw how Mahomes used Rice just feast on that Ravens defense, and Worthy he used him when he needed to, and man, that kid's fast.
Worthy's going to get more. You don't get 2 touchdowns on 3 touches and not get more touches moving forward. He's going to become more of a focal point sooner.
They're just going to figure out a way to get the ball in that kid's hands because he can fly.
I mean, Mahomes did kind of miss him too because he threw behind him on that one in the end zone where Worthy had to really kind of play defense on it. So
you're right.
He could have had 3 for sure. Start 2, man. Geesh. Neighbors, Pittman, Diggs.
My God, I think I'm sitting Diggs. Let me look.
Oh my Lord.
What kind of leagues are you guys in? How come everybody has a better team than me?
I don't get questions like this. This is crazy. Oh, freaking played toyed up. Kids' toys everywhere.
It's awesome.
Geesh. Who am I sitting here? I think I have. Oh God. I think I have to sit.
I'm
Stephon
sitting.
Diggs.
So am I.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
It just sucks to sit the guy with the best quarterback. But
yeah,
the other two, again, it comes down to who's going to get a ton of targets, and Neighbors and Pittman should just get peppered. Should. I imagine they do. Mark says, happy football day. Punted at TE. I have Taysom Hill. Would you rather have Hunter Henry or Noah Fant? I actually would rather have Hunter Henry.
Give me Taysom Hill. He's going to have the ball in his hands a ton in that offense. He's going to throw you for touchdown. He's going to catch one, and he's going to run one. He has that potential every week.
He does.
Hunter Henry is reliant on the team getting to the red zone, which I don't think will happen very often. Sorry, Bryce. And Noah Fant is the 5th or 6th option in that offense that I don't know what it's going to look like yet. So Taysom Hill, I think Taysom Hill's the play.
I really would have liked to see Noah Fant on a different team. I think it's going to be. I think Hunter Henry is going to get a decent. Jacoby Brissett always likes to utilize the tight end. He always has. So Hunter Henry is the one guy he's probably going to be not necessarily familiar with, but Hunter Henry's the only wide receiver on that team that's been there pass catcher on that team that's been there for an extended period of time. So I think he might be kind of a focal point in their pass game, and it's going to be a lot of play action, I imagine, out of the Alex Van Pelt offense. So Hunter Henry's going to be on the field a lot. Did we get another super chat?
You know that team better than anybody. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know who to start. I only person I feel comfortable starting on that team is Ramondre. But as with those options at tight end, I think I would just lean Hunter Henry. But I can't. Taysom Hill does have that upside to catch, run, or throw a touchdown. So it's hard to argue against that as well. George, ask another one.
George, speaking of rain.
Yes, geez. Since Higgins is out, switch out for Shakir, Warren, Deontay Johnson, Darnell Mooney, or Dowdle. Ford and K. Walker in the flex.
I don't like Dowdle this week, and I don't know what his role is going to be, and Cleveland's run D is good.
Well, Dowdle's not even listed as a starter. They named Zeke the starter.
Yeah, and I don't know what that really means. He might take the first snap, but I don't know what Dallas's backfield looks like. They also have Deuce active today as well, so he'll be in there somewhat a little bit as well.
That's Deuce.
I love Shakir. Jaylen Warren, I don't fully think he's back yet. I understand he's playing, but I think he was injured in the preseason, and I don't. Is that a duck?
Yes, there's a freaking toy duck. It's creepy too.
Awesome, I love it.
Why is it?
It's between Shakir and Deontay Johnson for me here. I think Mooney's a nice compliment to London and Pitts for my boy Kirk Cousins, but I think I have to go with Shakir based on my admiration for him over Deontay Johnson. And then if I could, I would flex Deontay Johnson instead of Ford. Oh, no, I wouldn't. I would flex Walker. Sorry.
Okay, so I think I'm going to put in Shakir and Deontay Johnson. I'll take Ford out as well. Is that what you're kind of saying?
Oh, so sorry. He has 2 guys in the flex?
Well, since Higgins is out, he's got to. I'm imagining he's replacing Higgins in his lineup, and then those are his flex options, which he's given us for maybe potentially. So
right.
I think we're on the same page. Deontay and Shakir.
I almost feel bad that George is paying for this shit, but anyway,
yeah.
Shakir's in with for me, and then Walker and Deontay are my flexes. Is that what you're doing?
I put Deontay above Shakir, but yes, I would do the same exact thing. Yes.
Okay, so the same guys are playing. I just have them in different spots.
Yep. But for me, it's Deontay above Shakir gets the nod because I feel like I know that Deontay is going to get a lot of targets. Where I think Shakir will too, but I want to see it first. I want to see how that offense looks. They might run it through the tight end in the run game, but
I'm personally okay with that too. But yeah, I hear you.
But okay, do you remember where we were?
Yeah, Dog is a question about Fields. He's next up for you.
It's Fields playable and to what extent over Kyler? Ooh, this is a good question because I have the same thing right now. I literally have Jaden Daniels, Kyler Murray, and Justin Fields, and I get to start 2 of them. And I'm like, man, I obviously I have Jaden and Kyler in. I didn't even know Fields was starting.
Right.
Is he playable and to what extent? He's definitely playable.
100%.
Do I put him over Kyler?
Not me.
No, I do not. Because Kyler's got the same rushing upside, and he's a much better passer, and with better weapons now.
Yep, all those reasons. Yep.
Both really good options, though. You two running quarterbacks. I mean, if freaking Justin Fields goes out there and lights it up today, they can't sit him. They won't. Like he could literally win the starting job today. Is
Russell Wilson's career over if Justin Fields has a good? Because if he plays good this week, if he plays good this week, he starts next week, right? Like if Fields wins like 2 or 3 games here, is that it for Russell Wilson? Because he costs them nothing, right? Denver's paying everything. Wilson is costing them about $1 million. They can just bury him.
They could.
I think it's very possible.
They could try and trade him. They could try and trade him. And then they're getting maybe potential draft capital for $1 million. That's a pretty good deal. The Vikings could be definitely landing.
They might be dumb enough to do that, but I think
it would honestly not be a bad situation because even though he might be a little weird, I've heard that he's actually a really good leader and a good locker room guy. So that could be good for like helping develop JJ McCarthy. I don't know.
I don't want him anywhere near JJ McCarthy personally, but Sam Darnold's going to be this year's Baker Mayfield.
No, George. Thank you.
Thanks, George.
And asking us questions and donating money. Fine, a non-IDP one. Jake Bates or Daniel Carlson. Are those kickers?
Question.
I don't answer.
Hang on, I actually ranked those guys.
I don't even know what teams these guys play for.
Well, Bates is Detroit's kicker, and
Carlson's
Raiders now.
Raiders, yeah.
Bates is kicker 18, and Carlson is 28. So it's Bates, not even close, Craig.
Sure, Bates. C-Dog asked another one. Ford or Moss, full PPR.
Moss, even though I think I have Ford ranked higher. I need to move Ford down in my rankings, but I think Moss has the ability to catch more so than
especially
Ford.
Today.
Yeah.
Jerome Ford can catch too. It's just Deshaun Watson doesn't throw to the running back a lot. I'll go with Moss. I'll go with Moss as well. I think the PPR upside for Moss today is very, very pretty high.
I just don't think that Cincinnati needs to do a lot. And I keep saying that, and I don't mean it as a disrespectful way, but I think they control the clock and run the football a lot today. If Chase is limited, Higgins is out, you have a good secondary in New England. It's probably the strength of your team. So
the whole defense is pretty good.
I think you run on them and you just keep rotating Chase Brown and Zach Moss, keep them fresh and just run on them and then use a little bit of Gesicki in a revenge game type scenario and
your dog does not like your does not like your take.
No, my dog doesn't like much. She needs to shut up.
Pick 2. I'm going Moss too. I already said yeah. Pick 2: Metcalf, Ridley, Ramondre, and Javonte Williams. I will go with Metcalf. Yeah, Metcalf and Ramondre.
Same.
Yep. I do like Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams and Stevenson are kind of close for me.
Agree.
But I want to see. It's weird bringing Gibson in as like your receiving back when Ramondre is a very, very good receiving back. But apparently Ramondre wants a really big role this year. And in an Alex Van Pelt offense, he'll probably get it. So he could be a guy that sees 20 touches pretty consistently throughout the year and hope 3 or 4 of those are catches.
Yeah, and again, Van Pelt comes from the Cleveland organization where he kind of had those 2 productive running backs with Hunt and Chubb, and I think that he tries to somewhat recreate that. I think Gibson will be okay there. But
yeah, it was weird. Weird as a Patriot fan seeing a running back get a contract. Like Ramondre got extended. I don't know if the Patriots have ever extended a running back outside of James White. And he wasn't our starting running back.
And it was a significant contract, too.
It was a good one, yeah. I think Ramondre is super, super good. He's got like the best contact balance, I think, of the entire league. He's just he's not that fast. And he's just like, I don't know. He's just really, really well-rounded.
Yep.
Mostert or Ford? I'll go with Mostert here.
Yeah. It's getting close now.
Yeah, this is a good one. I thought we'd get a lot of Mostert questions today. I didn't really expect a ton of Jerome Ford questions, so I wasn't really thinking about it. Probably get a lot of Jerome Ford questions moving forward.
We'll see how today plays out. He's going to make I'm against him everywhere. He's probably going to run for 204 today just because I've been against him everywhere.
Right. God guy asked still starting Chase on a snap count. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Sully is. I'm not. If you have a better option, or depends on your option, but if you have at least a decent option, I'm probably moving on from Chase this week. And I imagine we can easily answer his question following, which is Malik Neighbors or James Conner. We're both going to go with Malik Neighbors here rather easily.
Yeah.
Okay. So Astros on top asked actually question back to back.
Yep.
Nico Collins or DK Metcalf. And then he also, right after that, he asked DK Metcalf or DJ Moore. So this one, I'm going to go with DK Metcalf.
I have no idea. I like Metcalf over Collins, but I think I like Moore over DK. It's tight, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it goes more than Metcalf than Nico for me to follow up on his next question, which is DK or DJ Moore. I'm going with DJ Moore on this part.
I've got I'm going to go Moore, Metcalf, Collins, and it's no slight on Nico. He could easily finish as the top of these three. I need to see Houston's offense shake out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, if Stephon Diggs went there, Nico probably be.
He might be in my top 10.
Yeah, be above both of them.
Yeah.
Matt Z asked, what a great picture he's got there. James Conner or Terry McLaurin? I'll go with Scary Terry.
Me too.
Yep.
Despite the crappy icon.
He says, I have two flexes in both my leagues. Yeah, most of my leagues are multiple flexes.
So I think I had Deontay with Walker in the flex and Bryce had Shakir with Walker in the flex, but we both had the same three guys going. So I think that's your way to go. And thanks again, George. Really appreciate those.
Donos. Okay. Eric Anders asked, start one. Ridley, Addison, Odunze. Got our first Odunze in there. Are you picking him?
I need to look how I ranked it. I have Odunze down behind Ridley. So I would start Ridley with Hopkins being a little bit hobbled still. Addison, no. It's close between Odunze and Ridley for me, but I'll take Ridley.
Yeah, I'll go with Odunze. I will. Both, obviously, Odunze being a rookie and then Ridley on a new team. I don't think he's the best wide receiver on his team. So I think D-Hop maybe will be more involved than Ridley. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how the Titans offense plays out with their running backs back there and their receiving core with Will Levis not being like, I don't know if Will Levis can support multiple wide receivers to be fantasy relevant. So if I had to pick one that was going to be fantasy relevant on that team, it would be D-Hop for me. So until he proves it otherwise, I'll probably kind of tread lightly around the Ridley unless I don't have any better. If I have decent options behind it.
I like your answer.
Oh, Craig. Sorry, Craig. Thank you so much for at least trying to answer an offensive question. I did answer it.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Happy to be here, brother. I'll even answer the defensive ones. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'll answer them.
Right. Drop one for a kicker. Curtis Samuel, Austin Eckler, Khalil Herbert, Chuba, Flowers, JSN, Jaden Daniels. Need one tight end. Taysom Hill, Freiermuth, or Hunter Henry. Who you dropping?
Okay, so it's a 1 QB league. It has to be.
Yep.
I'd like to know I'd like to know who your other quarterback is.
Yeah, that'd be important to know because Jaden Daniels is a very, very high ceiling quarterback play. I'm probably gonna drop Khalil Herbert here.
That's what I think too.
Out of these options, at least. I mean, it'd probably be Chuba if Jonathan Brooks was healthy, but you're going to get 4 weeks of a starting running back.
Actually, hang on. I'm not carrying 3 tight ends.
No. He needs to pick one of these. He needs to pick a tight end.
Oh, sorry. I
thought need one roster. Tight end. Yeah. Whoa, yeah.
So if you have those 3 tight ends, drop a tight end and pick up the kicker.
Yeah, I would drop a tight end over.
In this case, I would drop Hunter Henry to pick up your kicker. But I don't know.
You starting Freiermuth here?
No, I'm starting Taysom.
Are you? I'm gonna start Freiermuth here.
With Justin Fields?
Yeah. Even with him. And then I would definitely. I'd probably drop Taysom or Hunter Henry. You could pick which one. I probably would drop Hunter Henry here just because Taysom Hill does have the higher upside for tight end. Where if you did since. I like Hunter Henry as a safer play for tight end because I think he will be involved, but I just don't foresee myself starting him over Freiermuth anytime soon. So I'll keep Freiermuth as my staple guy, and then I like that little ceiling. I like that ceiling guys on my bench.
Unless this is some 1 QB tight end premium league that I don't know the context of, I'm dropping Hunter Henry here, and Herbert is an injury away from being significantly involved in Chicago's offense, and he might be quite involved anyway. We don't know.
Right.
So,
well, you got Roschon Johnson there too. That's a murky backfield. So
and Swift.
Yeah. I was talking about as the backups. I know Swift's a starter.
I don't know who is. I think Swift is on paper, but I'm not sure he's even their best back. I think Khalil's their best back, but they don't all right. They don't call me and ask me very often.
We already answered that one. Okay. Start 1. Ford, McConkey, or Chase Brown?
Now I'm on Ford. Found a spot for him.
Yeah, I gotta see how McConkey's utilized first. But if you did need a ceiling play, honestly, McConkey might be the ceiling play here. I mean,
he could have 10 catches.
He could. 100%.
I really like Ladd McConkey and was a guy I took a ton of in my rookie drafts this year. I like Chase Brown as well. I think it's more a Zach Moss game than a Chase Brown game because I think they're going to run more than they're going to pass. And I think Ford needs to get a bunch of touches in this game. So I like Ford this time. I've been against him almost everywhere, but I'm on him here.
Yeah, same. I mean, I never hate starting running back by any means. But I do like Ford here over McConkey, but I kind of want to I want to put McConkey in over him.
You can. No rules.
Yeah, true. When would Chubb come back? I got him in the 9th round. So as soon as he could come back as week 5, but I don't think we will. I think we'll see him more towards week 7, maybe week 8.
Yeah, and I think he's potentially a league winner by keeping him on your roster. Because if he can come back to anything close to what he was, it's going to be around the time of when your fantasy playoffs are starting to kick in.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have that guy to drop into your lineup, 100% keep him on your bench. Hopefully you have an IR spot, even better. But I think that I want to say late October, early November, maybe we see him. Based on things I've read, I have absolutely no knowledge. The man shredded his knee beyond belief. So earliest, like Bryce said, is week 5. We'll see how the Ford and Foreman combo do, but he's a guy to have on your roster for sure.
Yeah, and if the Browns are doing pretty well, they're looking like they're going to be a playoff team, within the first 4 weeks, they start 3-1 or 4-1 by week 5 or whatever. They're
no rush.
There's no rush to get him back. So they're going to want him fully healthy for a playoff run. Because if I'm not mistaken, he might be a free agent next year too. So he could be playing for a contract as well, which is always nice. It seems like running backs always have a little bit better of a year when they're playing for that big payday. Jahaz, what's up? Did anyone queue up Thin Lizzy? I said the boys are back in town.
That's awesome.
Right.
Jahaz, the man, the myth, the legend.
Dude, we should have had that as an intro
since day
song.
one.
Cool.
We should have. I'll have to get our people on that.
I think you can avoid Chase here, right? I'm easily starting Neighbors over Chase today.
I'm still on Chase.
Really? You starting him over Malik Neighbors?
I am.
Oh.
I am.
I can't. Nope, no way, Jose. Even if Chase is healthy, he's gonna draw all the attention too. So, or on the field. So
Who's he got? Gonzalez.
Christian Gonzalez, who is going to be telling you all right now. I'm not even a homer right here. Well, kind of, but he will be a guy we talk about as like a top 3, top 4, top 5 corner by the end of this year.
I will change my answer. I redid my rankings at about 6:30 this morning, so I don't even remember what I've done. But I have moved Chase to 19 and Neighbors at 17 in my rankings this week. So if I'm not going to trust my rankings, why should anybody else? So I will take Neighbors. I'm just worried about this one.
McConkey or Ridley, PPR.
Ridley.
I imagine you're going Ridley here. Man, actually, I also will go Ridley here. Yeah, well, no, you know what? Nope, screw it. I'm going to go McConkey. Give me McConkey. You were giving the second. We're getting the second. Each team's number 2 wide receiver. I'll take the better quarterback.
But Ridley's their number 1 this week.
D-Hop not playing?
He's playing, but he's not 100%.
D-Hop is going to be. It's still better.
Is this our first $5 bet of the year?
We can. Oh,
do you have the notebook?
Have my notebook.
Do you have the old notebook?
It's in there for sure. Let me go. Okay. Hold on. Let me get this up here. I don't know if this is a question. Chubb is on my IR spot right now,
Perfect.
and my starting running backs are Henry and Saquon. If he comes back,
perfect.
Yeah, definitely be worried about Henry after watching that game. But I do think that they have to start getting that run game going because Lamar is just not a good passer. Like we saw it, right? I mean, he's not, especially when it matters most.
Did you see him miss
Zay Flowers wide open in the end zone for the game-winning touchdown?
Apparently, somebody
missed 2 wide open dudes.
Apparently, somebody ran the wrong route. So where he was throwing to, someone was supposed to be there. I don't know. But even
the play broken because he kind of started running around
a little bit. But even Likely's catch where he came down with his toe on the line, that ball was so overthrown that he had to go up there like that. He made an amazing catch.
And then he tried to say it was a catch after the game. He's like, "That was a catch. I still think it's a catch." Did you not? Dude, it was obviously out of bounds. Like it was close.
Sadly,
it was.
I think he deserved to give it to him because it was such a nice catch. But it
was,
especially after it looked like he broke his elbow on the play before. But
yeah, I think he just got a stinger. Could you just see how he fell? I bet it was a stinger.
Felt kind of like all his weight on his arm. I thought it was his wrist or his elbow, but I'm glad that he's back.
Tight roster restriction. League questions. Best speculative ad. Guerendo, Lob, or Miles Sanders? I cannot lie. I don't even know who 2 of those guys are.
Okay, so I think it's Isaiah Guerendo is in the Niners organization. Dylan Labe is the Raiders' secondary change of pace guy, and Miles Sanders, you know who Miles Sanders is. So
yes,
Guerendo needs Mason to go down or McCaffrey to go down to be involved. And if either one of them are, heaven forbid, then you have Guerendo being probably a pass catching back in a very split backfield that Deebo Samuel then becomes a part of as well. Dylan Labe is my answer here. He's going to be on the field regardless of injury. He's going to be the Raiders pass catching guy. He's the only guy that's going to take Zamir White off the field. And Miles Sanders is Miles Sanders. So I don't think Miles Sanders does much backing up Chuba. And when Brooks comes back, then Miles is pretty much irrelevant. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets cut. So it's Dylan Labe for me pretty easily here.
Yeah, Sanders sucks. So I'm definitely not going to stash him. I'll go with Labe as well. With that information you gave me, it seems like he has the easiest path to maybe get touches. And when you get a path to get on the field, it's better than being really, really good and never seeing the field, right? So
yeah,
like can get on there.
Labe's maybe a wide running back 4. Like I'm not saying he's like a must add or must own guy, but
right.
He's a pass catching guy in an offense that has to throw the football, whether they want to or not.
PPR flex 1, Kamara, Godwin, Ruiz.
I need some clarification there, Chile.
Ruiz let JSN. I feel like some autocorrect got him or something.
Yeah.
You scroll down. Oh, Ridley. He said Ridley.
Okay.
So Ridley.
There's a lot of dudes
Godwin,
here.
Kamara, Jason, Chase, Brown, JMO. It's Kamara for me.
Yeah, it's Kamara or Godwin for me. And I think it's Kamara. We saw how much Carr targeted him. I think he had 14 catches in one game last year. So it's Kamara as well. Then it would be Godwin. And then it gets tough for me after that.
Yeah. I expect Kamara to actually have a really good bounce back year this year.
Tyler Lockett is banged up today, and JSN could have a game, his best game of his career, but I wouldn't start him over any of these other.
Which wouldn't take much.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah. Hi guys, Taysom or Bowers? This is easily Bowers for me. I don't know about you.
It is Bowers. As much as I like Taysom, and I wouldn't be surprised if Taysom scores more points, it's still Bowers because I think they're going to want to get the ball in his hands to justify that draft pick.
They didn't let him play in the preseason, which means
he's hurt too.
Yeah, but I think he could have played in some of it. He's gonna be a focal point in that offense. I think he definitely hurts Jacoby Myers for sure. So yeah, give me Bowers. I really like him this year.
He could hurt everybody because Georgia said if they made him their running back, he'd have been their best running back too. Like he's apparently just
he won't hurt Devontae. I bet Devontae Adams is going to get his. I think, but
till he gets traded to the Jets in Week 5, apparently. So
no, that would be so bad. I would hate that. That would hurt.
I already hate it. I already hate it.
It's not even happened. Probably won't happen, but I hate it.
I hate it anyway. The thought of it makes me ill.
He said Ruiz let nice autocorrect. Chilled it. Okay, Tua or Caleb?
I think I have Caleb ranked higher, which is kind of weird for me, but I do. I have Caleb at 12 and Tua at 14. So
this is
with a rookie.
This is a good one here. I'll actually go with Tua. I think that I think that game's going to be a shootout today with the Jaguars. I think both of those offenses can really score at will this year. So give me Tua, but I really want to start Caleb Williams when I can.
I just think it's fun.
He says, my head says Bowers, my heart says Tatum. Your heart's wrong.
Your head's right.
Godwin or Diggs? I actually will go with Diggs here.
It's Godwin for me.
Godwin for you.
I'll double check, but I just think that if I'm going to apply the uncertainty to Tank Dell and to Nico Collins, I have to apply it to Stephon Diggs as well. I'm making an assumption that he's going to be more involved than people think, but I don't know it. I know that Chris Godwin's going to be involved in Tampa's offense, so I'll go with Godwin.
I'm sure Diggs. I really think Diggs has top 5 upside this year. I know people are like, oh, they're going to spread it around. I think he'll still be the focal point for.
I have him back to back in my rankings with Godwin one spot ahead. So
okay, that's pretty.
I got something right in my own rankings.
Yeah, I really like Diggs this year, and if he doesn't get involved early, I'm sure we'll see it on the sidelines.
That's his MO.
He gets angry when he doesn't get targets.
He is good. He is good early in organizations, both Minnesota and Buffalo.
Caleb too new, and the Titans beefed up defense this offseason big time. They did get one of the best corners in the league.
They got Snead, right?
Safeties. Yeah, Snead. Snead's a dog. I mean, he's not talked about enough either, really, in my opinion.
I don't understand.
It's so hard when you're on
I don't want to understand why Casey let him go, but maybe it's just money wise. I don't know.
Their corners are still good though. Like Kansas City's defense kind of gets overshadowed by their offense.
But they're the reason they won the Super Bowl last year.
I know.
They're the reason they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, you kind of think about it. It's like kind of how the Patriots were all the time. Like everyone's always talking about Tom Brady, Gronk, and it's like they always had a good defense, like always like a top defense. They just have like not any huge name players, right? They just got Chris Jones in the middle, and then all the other players just like they do their job. They do it really, really, really well. And Snead is super, super good. So he will definitely be a problem for the opposing wide receiver ones, which who does he guard today? That's the real question. Who does he guard on that team? Like, because they kind of have 3 wide receiver ones.
I think he just stays on his side, right?
Yeah. I think he did that there too, didn't he? I don't think he followed.
I don't think so. But there, in that last comment, I don't have an argument for that. I think those are all excellent points.
Yeah.
I'm just willing Caleb Williams to be good. I have a quarterback start question. If we catch up, I'll ask you.
Oh, yeah. We're not too far behind. Okay. Tank Dell or Ayuk?
Ayuk.
Yeah, I'll go with Ayuk.
They say he's going to be on a bit of a snap count.
They're going to get his money. They're going to get their money's worth. That's for sure.
I'm really, really worried about Tank Dell as much as I like him. I just think he's a natural third piece of that offense. But I don't know yet.
But it seems like he could easily support 3 pieces. CJ could.
It looks like it.
He could throw for 400 yards. Well,
in a way, he kind of did.
100.
And he kind of did last year. Like, it didn't matter who his receivers were. Like, he made Noah Brown good.
Yeah.
Like, even Robert Woods wasn't horrific. So, Who knows?
Ramondre, Montgomery, Pickens. Pick one.
Monty.
I'm just trying not to be biased.
You can be wrong if you want.
Yeah, I could be. I can't. I'm going to be smart here. I'll go David Montgomery. The touchdown upside's too good.
There you go. That's it. Exactly.
That's
there.
it. But the PPR
100%.
upside with Stevenson is nice. But I want to see. I do want to see why did they get Gibson. So if they're taking that off his plate, then he's not much different than Montgomery. Well, he'll get more. He'll get more rushing and more snap count. He'll be on the field more. But if you take him out for pass catching stuff, then he becomes a lot less valuable. And so this is the one to catch up here. Herbert versus Vegas, Caleb versus Tennessee, or the juicy Mayfield matchup versus Washington. I will go with Caleb here.
Me too.
Adam Young, so we skipped over his question. What was it?
Sorry, Adam.
I don't see it.
Drop it again, Adam. Sorry about that, man.
Are you sure you asked one? I don't see it anywhere.
I don't see it either, but we'll definitely answer it.
Yeah, there's no question here, Brian. Maybe it didn't go through. Yeah, I just scrolled. I didn't see it.
Okay, Adam, if you're still
must not have went through.
Drop it again, please. Happy to answer it for you.
He just typed that, so he must still be here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not on here. I just went all the way back to the beginning. Who'd you go here?
I didn't. I did.
Caleb as well. DeAndre Swift or Keenan Allen for flex?
Swift. I'm worried about Keenan Allen.
I'm not as worried as everybody else, but I should be since the freaking Bears fan Rick told me to be.
I'm not a huge Swift guy. I think he might be vastly overrated as well. But
yeah, that's going to be a committee. I think that's going to be a committee. I don't want any part of their backfield.
But who do you think touches the ball more this week, Swift or Keenan Allen? Like that's why I go Swift, because I think Swift's going to touch the ball at least 10 times.
Yeah, but set 7 of those, or 7 or 8 of those runs, and then he only gets like 2 or 3 catches. Where Keenan Allen could still easily get 5 to 6 catches. I'll go Keenan Allen. I think he actually has a safer floor. Weirdly enough, I'm not as worried about him. I think he works the middle of the field really, really well.
Okay.
In this offense, he's just not going to get a deep ball.
All right, so I have a quarterback question for you. I have Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones, Caleb Williams, and Jaden Daniels. Start 2.
Kirk Cousins, who? Kirk Cousins, Jaden Williams,
Jones,
Daniels.
Oh, Daniels and Caleb.
I'm starting Cousins and Jaden.
That's what I have right now.
Yeah. Daniel Jones.
No, but Caleb or Cousins.
Oh, Caleb.
I have Caleb, Daniels,
and Jaden. Oh man,
Cousins.
Give me Cousins. Give me Cousins and
I also have Jacoby Brissett, but I didn't put him in the category.
Yeah, give me Cousins and Daniels.
That's what I have right now. So okay, good.
That's a good problem to have.
It's a league that I blew up. It's a league that I blew up and I rebuilt, and so I'm also starting in that league today. Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Lad McConkey, Brian Thomas Jr. My tight ends are, I think it's Kincaid and McBride. It's totally rebuilt tight end premium league, so I'm looking forward to that one. I'm actually trying to trade Cousins right now.
Nix, Fields, Watson. Which one do I sit?
Nix, Fields, Watson.
If you're watching, who do I sit?
Watson. I want nothing to do with him this year. I think that shoulder's still messed up. I think one of the deep, if you're in a deep type of league, especially a Superflex league, try to get your hands on Jameson Winston, because I think he's going to play more games than Watson this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, Jimmy, that's a nice question. Go to the next question.
Darnold or Danny Dimes?
Darnold.
Really? I'll go Danny Dimes here.
I am telling you right now,
rushing upside.
Sam Darnold is this year's Baker Mayfield. Mediocre quarterback, good coach, good weapons. Look what happened to Baker last year in Tampa. That's what's going to happen to Darnold this year. He's fine.
Castillo has strong opinions on the Cowboys. I guess the problem is the thing is the Cowboys are not going to be in a situation where they can draft a good quarterback in the draft, and then there's nobody else. Like, it's almost like you have to pay him, and the salary cap goes up every single year anyway. So it's So even though he's the highest paid, like, he knows he's not the best quarterback in the league. Every year someone becomes high. Wasn't Jordan Love just the highest paid? He only had 1 year.
It changes every week, man. Changes every week. That's why I said when we saw that he signed it, I said Brock Purdy's the happiest guy in the league right now because he's next, right?
Right.
So I think the only thing that I have a question for, and Jerry Jones is clearly delusional and losing it rapidly, is, well, I wouldn't say that. Micah Parsons needs a deal. So now that you just did CD and you just did Dak for that amount of money, even in this world of the salary cap going up and it being sort of a myth, they're going to have to do something to keep Parsons there. Because is he not going to be the highest paid defensive player in football? Should he not be?
He definitely should be.
So he's coming up. He's next. So I don't know what the highest paid defensive player makes right now, but he's going to be in and around.
I'm trying to think.
He's going to be in and around.
Roquan, maybe Roquan got.
Well, it was. My God, who's Arnold? Who the hell is the Rams defensive player that was probably the best ever?
Oh, Aaron Donald.
Thank you. I think he was. Don't remember. I'm such an IDP guy, but I think was the highest paid, but I don't know. But I think that's the biggest question that Dallas has now is how do they navigate that?
Yeah, that's going to be super strange.
But they had to pay Dak. They had to pay Dak because there was no other options.
I mean, he's only going into his third year, right, Micah? Or no, he's going into his fourth year. Yeah, so he needs a contract. He was drafted the same year as Mac Jones and them. So, yeah, this will be his fourth year.
Because he's just going to hold out or hold in. He's not going to play on his fifth-year option, right?
No,
he's not.
No way.
Just like CeeDee Lamb and all those other guys. So
They'll
Darnold's not going to win. Darnold's not going to win the MVP, but if Darnold's not a top 15 quarterback this year, I'll be surprised.
Wow. That's bold. 15, huh?
Heard it here first.
Is Puka a top 5 wide receiver this year? I do not think so.
I think Cooper Kupp has a better year than Puka Nacua. I think they're both top 15.
Yeah, I think he could be if Cooper Kupp wasn't there. I will say that. Like, if Cooper Kupp goes down, yeah, I mean, he's going to get peppered just like he did last year.
And that's why
Kupp was banged
up
up
last year.
Yeah, Kupp, I don't think Kupp played healthy the whole year. So,
and this is not a slight on Puka Nacua. I think he's phenomenal. But I think they're both top 15 wide receivers.
Is my team bad? Richardson, Achane, Connor, Amon-Ra, Olave, Pitts, Montgomery.
No,
I wouldn't say so. I'm not a big fan of Achane. It looks like you drafted him early, I imagine, but I really like all your other players, probably for where you got him. Richardson should be nice. Amon-Ra's Amon-Ra. Olave should have a good year, I think. People are down on Olave, but I mean, they're going to have to throw the ball a ton. And I think Spencer Rattler might be a quarterback this year for them.
I think he will. I think Carr's going to run into the same thing that ran into him in Vegas. Is he's not guaranteed next year, but he is guaranteed for injury. Same thing with Daniel Jones. I think Drew Lock starts late in the year as well. It's because these guys aren't same thing that happened to Russell Wilson last year. These guys get benched towards the end of the year when they don't have guarantees, but they are guaranteed for injury. Nobody wants to take that chance. So, and I think Rattler will be okay.
Yeah, I think he could be exciting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't invest a lot of draft capital in him, so it doesn't hurt to throw him out there. And if he sucks, you move on. You get a quarterback next year.
Plus, Dennis Allen's getting fired anyway. So
yeah, why not see what you got? Right. That's kind of like, I feel like what a lot of these teams do. Like, oh, I drafted somebody late. Might as well see what we got before we address it next year. If you don't have to address it next year, then cool. Yeah. Which questionable QB situations top target? Deontay Johnson or George Pickens?
I have Pickens ranked higher, but I honestly did it when Wilson was starting, so I need to think about this one.
Yeah, I'll go Deontay Johnson here. I think both of these guys could get a lot of targets today, but I just think Deontay Johnson gets more. I know for a fact Bryce Young is a better passer than Justin Fields.
I think Deontay Johnson's a better receiver.
He's definitely a better route runner. I don't know about with hands when it comes to catching the ball. It's definitely George Pickens, right?
He does drop some passes, no doubt about it. I'm with you though. I think the volume here goes to DJ. Carolina likely throws the ball more than Pittsburgh with Arthur Smith and Fields and all that other shit. So, yeah.
Yep. Dak or Cousins? I'm going Cousins here. And it's kind of probably, I'll go based on matchup. I don't like the Browns defense is stout. So
I'll go Dak just because he might throw it 50 times today.
He might. Cousins
I like
should
him
have a heyday. I'm excited to watch Cousins on his team.
So am I.
Full PPR, pick 2. Moss, JSN, Andre. I was surprised we haven't
Yoshivas.
Andre I, as I'm going to call him. Keon Coleman or Brian Robinson. Oh, geez. This is more of the realm of I live in.
Yeah, these are my teams. None of these.
I'll go with Moss, and I'll go with Andre.
Yeah.
No. I'll go JSN. I'll go JSN and Moss.
That's where I'm going. Yoshivas would be third, though.
Yes, he would be for me as well. Keon Coleman, I don't know. It sounds like he seems like a trap. I don't know. I have a decent amount of shares of him, but
I avoided him this year. I don't like him overly. Of anyone in the upper echelon of this year's wide receiver class, I was the most concerned about him, which means he'll probably be great.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Ogunbowale or Malachi Corley for flex?
Let's go with Corley because I think he might get a target. Ogunbowale, I'm not sure sees much of the field for. I think he's still in Houston. I think Cam Akers and Pierce might be ahead of him in the depth chart. So I'll go with Corley. I'm not a huge Malachi Corley guy. He does everything at the line of scrimmage, and Rodgers doesn't like those types of guys.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Amari Rodgers was in Green Bay. But I think Corley at least has a chance to get on the field and touch the football. So,
yeah, same reasons, and he's got a quarterback that can read through the entire progression and get him the ball, even if he's not going to be. There's no plays designed for him, that's for sure. So
that's true.
If he's on the field, there, Rodgers could get through that progression and get him the ball for sure. I've heard good things about him in training camps and stuff. So, and it helps that the number 2 receiver on that team is like the most injury-prone receiver of all time.
100%.
If you have both Detroit backs, would you start both? I would feel okay doing it. I hate doing stuff like that, but that's one of the rare situations I wouldn't feel too bad about it.
Yeah, Castile, I would like to see who else you have for options, but I'm with Bryce. I wouldn't hate it.
Sorry, I didn't put it up.
There's very few teams that I would do this with. I'd consider doing Mostert and Achane, but probably not right now.
Yeah.
Detroit, I would do it. These are 2 high-end quality capable guys, right? That both have the ability to score and both have the ability to get you double-digit fantasy points. So I would, but I'd like to see what else you got for options.
Yeah, I think both of those guys could easily average a double-digit fantasy points the entire year.
Right?
Morning, fellows. PPR, Brian Thomas Jr.?
Yes.
Or Darnell Mooney? This is Darnell. Or I'm sorry, Brian Thomas Jr. for me, for sure. I do like Darnell Mooney, though. I think he's also a sneaky guy. Not many people are talking a lot about this year.
I agree.
Potential solid flex option, but I think Brian Thomas Jr. could be a solid wide receiver 2 option, potentially a wide receiver 1 option moving once we get later in the year.
I think he's the best wide receiver on their team already, and he will shake it out, and he'll make people forget about Gabe Davis pretty quick. I just think he's, especially in the red zone, that big body, he's going to be – I love the kid. So easily him over Mooney for me, and I do like Darnell Mooney as well.
Castile asks, Aaron Jones, Monty, or Eckler?
Montgomery for me.
You have any insight on Aaron Jones?
Yeah, I think he's going to be heavily used today, and I think he's going to do well. But I think that, again, that ability to score touchdowns for Montgomery just trumps everything. He's going to get his touches, and he has a chance to score. Like, Detroit's scoring more points than Minnesota this week.
Yeah, I want the guy who has that big PPR upside. That is Aaron Jones. So I will take Aaron Jones. Because, 3 catches, 30 yards, there's a touchdown, right? So,
sure.
Points-wise. So I'll take Aaron Jones because I think he gets more touches than Montgomery, and several of those touches will be receptions, which kind of for me cancels out that touchdown upside.
Yeah, they're back to back. They're back to back in my rankings, so I don't disagree.
Aaron Jones, it'll be an interesting. I feel like another guy's like, I don't know if I've been so busy this year with starting school again and working all these freaking jobs. I just haven't paid too much attention. I just feel like Aaron Jones has been a quiet piece this offseason. I don't see him being traded very much in fantasy leagues. I don't really see any
Yeah.
reports about him or anything.
I think people are worried about a guy in his age 29 season as a running back.
Right.
He's got a lot of injury history to him. But with Sam Darnold as his quarterback, Sam Darnold probably checks down to him 4 to 5 times a game. Ty Chandler I like as well because I think of the same reasons. Aaron Jones will be involved in the Vikings offense more so than the running back has with Kevin O'Connell. So I think he'll be good, but I just think Montgomery that much more.
Right. This Amari said he had T. Higgins and that one question with like Keon Coleman and them, but
yeah, totally get that's tough break in week 1, man. Good news is it's week 1. No big deal if you lose week 1.
Sorry, boys. One more question. You don't have to apologize, do we?
Keep them coming.
We are here for the questions. Aaron Jones or Calvin Ridley?
I'm Aaron Jones here for sure.
Yes, Aaron Jones for me as well. Castillo says I also have Swift and Najee, and I have Barkley as well. Going back to the Detroit duo, that is who I have.
Okay, so you started Barkley, and then you're going to flex either one of the Detroit running backs. So I would start
Najee over both or over not over Gibbs. So it'd be Barkley. How many of these guys can you start total? Because if I had to rank, I would go Barkley, obviously number 1, and then it'd go for Najee or Gibbs, then Najee, then Montgomery, then Swift for me.
I have Montgomery ahead of Najee.
Really? Okay. I mean, that's fair. Another backfield that could be split this year, but Arthur Smith back there, I think Najee is going to get tons of touches.
I like Najee a lot this year. I think this week, though, I would go with both the Lions backs. But I think you make good points, no doubt about it.
Jimmy says, I receive Amari Cooper, Deontay Johnson, Zach Moss, and Jigba. They receive Tank Dell, James Cook. Should I take it?
What's the format, Jimmy?
It's full PPR.
Like, is this a dynasty league, a redraft league?
Yes. Yeah, true. Is this a redraft? If this is a redraft league, I'm definitely going to take Amari Cooper, Deontay Johnson, Zach Moss.
And the only other thing I would say is if you're acquiring
if this is dynasty players, I want Tank Dell and Zach or James Cook.
And the only
it's a redraft league.
Okay, and then my only other follow-up question to that, because of the number of players you're getting, is who are you dropping to make this trade happen?
True. You have to drop 2 people, right?
He's picking up 4 guys for 2. So I'd like to know who you're dropping. Because really, the way I look at these drafts is I take those 2 guys he's dropping and put them on the other end of the trade. Now, and they might not be anything, but you never know. She brings you drinks.
She's got back from the store.
How many years have you been married? How many years have you been married?
3 years? Yeah, 3 years. We've been married 3 years, right? Yeah.
Okay, number 1, you need to know the answer to that when anybody asks you. Number 2,
I know the date. It's 7/17/21, so it's 3 years.
There you go. Anyway, enjoy that hand pass beverage while you.
I had that.
So without any other context, with that being a redraft league, I like what Cooper, Deontay, Zach Mawson, and Jigba do for my roster. I like James Cook a lot this year, but I'm worried about Tank Dell. Amari Cooper's role we know what it is. Deontay Johnson's role, we know what it is. And I think Zach Moss's role could be better than we think it is. And I think Jigba's could be bigger than we think it is. So I'll take that side of the trade in a vacuum.
Yeah, I think Amari Cooper is sneaky RB or wide receiver 1 upside this year. Like, could be the best wide receiver in fantasy this year.
He does every single year.
Yeah.
Right? He gets there somehow.
Yeah, he is a guy that I think could have a huge year. I think Deontay Johnson is also a guy that could be a very, very nice. I think Deontay Johnson comes in as a better Adam Thielen. So look what he did last year. Dude was 100%. super valuable last year. And now you get a guy that's probably does everything better than him except maybe catch the ball. But, I mean, geez, if you're open and you're getting more targets, and that team couldn't get worse. Bryce Young got put in a terrible situation last year. I'll stand on that until he sucks. I think he takes a big step forward this year. I could be wrong, but
big step forward to like where? Like QB what?
It wouldn't surprise me if Bryce Young could be like a Baker Mayfield. I don't think it's like he's got like top. He could be a guy.
Well, Baker Mayfield finished last year as a top 12 or 13 quarterback.
I think that he could be. I think he could do that. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Baker
could be
Mayfield
very well
also
be wrong.
was in a great situation last year. I mean, great.
Well,
wide
and that
receiver.
situation is now in Carolina, right? It's the same guy that turned Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield around. He's now their coach in Carolina.
Yeah.
So
I've hope I think Bryce Young had his moments last year where he looked really good, and they came later in the year. And that offensive line was the worst in the league last year, second worst, one of the worst in the league.
I will give you that. It was.
And I think any average quarterback, even if he's not even above average quarterback, is going to look very below average without a decent O-line. We saw that like with Tom Brady. His last years in New England. His last years in New England were terrible.
Look, if I start an NFL franchise tomorrow, which by the way isn't going to happen, I'm building my team on the offensive and defensive lines first. That's how I'm building my roster, and then I'll figure everything else out after that. You're right. I don't care who you are as a quarterback. If you don't have time to do what you want to do, and you have to force it, you're in trouble. Let alone a rookie who's an undersized rookie, right? Like,
yes,
he's short. Like, that's a thing. Like, that, whether we want it to be or not, it's a legitimate thing.
He's not even 6 foot, I don't think.
Yeah,
like 5'10", 5'11", not much bigger than me.
6'4", 250, 60-pound linebackers and D linemen are right in your face, and you're 5'9" at best. You got to look through the trees, right? So that's tough.
Yeah. Yep. So I think I do think he takes a big step forward. I think he becomes a guy that will be asked in some of these quarterback questions maybe in a few weeks.
Season long, who do you want in redraft? Sam Darnold or Bryce Young?
Season long, I'll take Sam Darnold in a redraft. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And that comes to weapons and already a good offensive line. I don't know how much better their offensive line is going to be this year, the Panthers. Can't imagine it got any worse, but
it sounds like they beefed it up pretty good. It's going to be better, but
you have to. You can't invest in this number one pick and then he's going to get maybe not. I don't understand how Daniel Jones got this many opportunities, but he's going to get 3 to 4 years of he's going to get his whole rookie contract worth of opportunity before they abandon him, unless somehow they get the first pick. That's just how it's going to be.
If they could have only kept the first pick.
I know. Ooh, man, I really got to feel really bad about that. Najee or Zach Moss?
Real quick, because Steele said he could start 3. So he started.
He was going back to the Detroit.
So he started. Castile, you started Saquon. So I think, again, I go back to, I'm just going to, not to beat this question to death, but I'll take both the lines in his scenario this week.
I'll take Gibbs and Najee.
I like it.
Yeah. Najee or Moss?
Najee.
I'll go Najee. Yeah. Yep.
Mr. Frickin' Scampers in the chat.
Mr. Scampers. What's his
Love this cat.
Is that a cat? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a legend. Morning, Scampers. Good to see you, bro.
Got any questions for us, Scampers? Let's see if I've got any here. Now I've got Justin Fields. I bought a lot of Justin Fields this offseason.
I tried to. I couldn't. Who did you try to add to your rosters more than anyone else this offseason? Was it him?
Yes. Who else was? I really didn't make a ton of like a lot of rookies. I tried to get a lot of Jalen Polk. That's probably just something to root for.
McCoy has a great question.
D-Hop or Keenan Allen? Man. I'm going to answer your question you asked me here in a minute because I can't remember.
I can't either.
For this one, I'll go Keenan. Oh, man. No, I'll go D-Hop. I'll go D-Hop here.
I need to literally look at my rankings.
Who did I try and get a lot of this offseason?
We didn't trade any at all this offseason, did we?
No. I made some trades, though. I made a big one last week. I traded Jonathan Taylor for Drake May and Jaden Reed. So, pretty happy with that outcome.
I like it.
I'm super stacked at running back in that league.
I'm going Keenan Allen here.
Yeah, I had Bijan. I still had Bijan, Kamara, Ramondre, Zach Moss, and Zamir White in that league. So I was like, let me get rid of a running back so I can get some depth.
Seriously, that's awesome.
All my wide receiver, all my quarter. I was rocking with the old vet quarterbacks. I've got like I've got all the old quarterbacks. I've got Stafford, Rodgers, Russell Wilson. So then I added Drake May, gave me a younger guy, and then my wide receivers are also pretty old. Keenan Allen. I now have Josh Palmer. Now I don't know. Do I start Josh Palmer over Keenan Allen? I don't know.
I don't know yet. I don't think so. I am a little concerned about Keenan Allen being the third piece. Like 3 wide receiver sets in Chicago, who comes off the field when they go down to 2, right? I think Keenan Allen comes off the field, doesn't he?
It's got to be him or Odunze. I mean, there's only
right. It's not going to be more.
Right.
I think Cole Kmet's going to be a lot more involved than people think, and he's in the middle of the field guy like Keenan Allen is. So I'm a little worried about Keenan Allen, but I don't know. I just don't know what the Chargers is going to do yet.
Is Keon Coleman going to see a heavy share?
I think so. And I don't know what a heavy share is, but again, over 300, I think it was 20 targets left Buffalo. Those got to go somewhere. And yes, Joe Brady's going to want to run more than they had in the past, but Josh Allen's still going to throw the football. So I'm not a big believer in who the hell did they add? Slot guy, Carolina, Washington. What the hell's his name?
Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Curtis Samuel guy. I love Khalil Shakir. I think Coleman will get his fair share. 90 to 100 targets this year wouldn't surprise me.
Good for rookie.
Yeah.
Spears or Dowdle? Oh my gosh, you played against Saquon Reed. Likely pack it up. Week 1's done for you, Mr. Scamper. Sorry, but
take a knee, brother. I think Spears is the ceiling of the two, right? He could catch a few and score. I'm sorry to laugh at you, dude, but that's god awful.
You're gonna have to pray. That's what you need to do. You're screwed.
So you're down to like close to 100 points already, right? Saquon had about 30.
Reed had 30. Likely had 30. Yeah, 90 points right there.
Yeah, so
90 points. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's half point PPR, so it's even worse. Good luck, Scampers.
So what's your guys' opinions on Kyle Pitts this season? I love him. I do. I love him this year. I think he ends up top 5.
So for anyone who's been a RotoHeat guy for a while, I'm a huge Kyle Pitts supporter, fan, and everything else. I actually traded my last share of Kyle Pitts to Bryce in a trade that brought me back Patrick Mahomes. And in hindsight, that probably wasn't the best trade for me the way my roster was shaking out.
Did I get Garrett Wilson out of that?
No, you got Mahomes, or I got Mahomes.
I got
Diggs.
Pitts.
You got a lot in that, though.
I got Watson, Pitts, and I think your first.
Yeah, something else, too.
And I can't remember.
It was pretty significant.
I think I turned that first into Worthy. So that looks decent so far.
Yeah, I like you on that side of the shit. I think Kyle Pitts has top.
You got Kelsey in that deal, too.
Did I?
I think so.
I don't know. I think Pitts has top 2 or 3 upside this season. Kirk Cousins is a way better quarterback than people think he is. Atlanta has one of the best pass blocking lines in the NFL. I think Drake London and Kyle Pitts could have monster years this year, and Bijan could catch 80 passes. Like, I just think that Cousins is being slept on as a he was arguably the MVP when he got hurt last year. He was leading the league in yards, touchdowns, I believe, at the time. He's always been a touchdown guy. I think he's thrown a touchdown pass in 53 of his last 54 starts. Like, he's just super consistent. And Pitts doesn't have to worry about the Arthur Smith bullshit anymore. Like, he's going to be utilized the way he should be in that offense. I think he's going to be great.
Yeah, I like all of them. And even if Kirk Cousins goes down or anything happens, I think their backup quarterback could also keep their value super high. I think I loved Michael Penix Jr. coming out of college. Unfortunately, landed in a spot where he might not play for 2 years. So he could have like a Jordan Love-like start to his career, which isn't ideal of him already being 25. But yeah, I don't know. That situation's all weird, but I do think that he could easily step up and also continue to give these guys a lot of value because I think I thought he was an NFL-ready quarterback. Strange that he got drafted like he was.
I like Michael Penix a lot. I just hated the pick for Atlanta. I don't think it made any sense to them, but whatever.
Mm-hmm. I would start Warren over the Tyjae Spears.
I would not.
Really?
No, he's coming back from that injury, and I think Spears has the better ceiling here than Warren.
Mario asks, CJ Stroud or Fields in standard? I'll go CJ Stroud in a standard league.
I have Stroud. I have him ranked 4th this week.
BTJ, JSN, or Odunze in my flex. I'll go with Brian Thomas Jr.
Same.
T-Law get some shootout numbers at Miami. That's what I said it earlier, didn't I?
I think so.
Or stick with Goff at home versus the old coach in the Rams. I will go with T-Law here.
I don't even know how I rank this.
This is a good one though. These guys are
Back to
definitely
back. Goff at 7, Lawrence at 8. I'll stick with Goff, but that either one. And I know either one doesn't help you because you want to pick between the two, but
right.
I think Goff is safer. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, both of these guys get touchdowns taken away from them from the run game. That's really prevalent in their offense. But yeah, those guys are like super. Like they're literally the same type of fantasy player. Schaefer said I'm screwed, but still, yeah, I wouldn't even look at that game. I would just like that one's out.
You know what the best thing is it's week 1,
and you're playing. Crazy thing is, like how many people really had Isaiah Likely in their starting lineups? Like, it can't be high. There's no way it was high.
31st ranked tight end this week.
Yeah, I had a ton of Isaiah Likely, and I had him starting in no leagues, which sucks because I think in 2 of them I have Brock Bowers starting over him. But I think we're going to see a lot of.
I think he's their wide receiver too.
Who? Brock Bowers?
No, Likely.
Oh, really?
Flowers is their top wide receiver, and I think Likely is going to have the second most targets of. I think, and I'm not worried about Andrews; he'll be fine, but Likely is so freaking athletic, man.
I don't know. I think we're going to see a lot of inconsistencies from that receiving core. I think Zay Flowers is always going to get the targets. I mean, he didn't have the greatest numbers, but he did have a lot of targets. I think the other two, I think Likely and Andrews are going to be inconsistent throughout the year.
It's going to hurt.
Like they're going to be boom and bust players. I think is what
I got a lot of Mark Andrews. I also really continue to hold out hope for Bateman.
Zero to Mark Andrews.
Well, that's just rude. So
I really liked Likely. I thought he was super. That team just knows how to freaking get tight ends. I mean, didn't they even have Darren Waller? Yeah, they had Darren Waller. Hayden Hurst had a nice little career. Like these guys always have.
They drafted Hurst above. They drafted Hurst above Andrews. They got him.
Yeah, that's right. Addison or Deontay? This is Deontay.
Yep.
This guy's got his middle name. Jordan Lee Addison or Augustus Edwards. I'll go with Gus. I think Harbaugh is going to run that team through the offensive line and through the run game.
I did not know Jordan's middle name was Lee, so I'm impressed with this question. I will go with Gus as well. From again, the touchdown upside is too hard to pass up here. I think the Chargers run the ball a lot, and I think they win the game. Close, low-scoring game, but I think they win that game. I think Edwards is just going to have the ball in his hands way more than Jordan Lee Addison, who I'm now forever going to refer to as Jordan Lee Addison.
We have he said I had Likely everywhere, but started him nowhere. I mean, get your best ball lineups. That's nice. I'm not in a single best ball league.
I am not either. I just don't like it. I like to manage my teams, but I get it. But honestly, why would you start Isaiah Likely unless you had some really weird thing happen to you? Like you were forced to put him in a flex spot because of the uncertainty of Chase or something along those lines. Like that's the only way he deserved to be in your lineups. And this is just back to that ever long discussion about process versus results. Sometimes you're going to get results even though the process is wrong. And it was wrong to start Likely this week. Now, next week, it's a whole other story.
That's the Canadian way of saying process, if you guys didn't know.
Oh, did I say process?
My apologies. No, you're not the first person I've heard say.
I haven't said like Atlanta Falcons yet either.
Falcons.
The Falcons. I don't know where that's not even Canadian. That's just Sullyism. I don't even know where the hell that comes from.
That one was funny.
Yeah, and
I have to look at my lineups here. I got a question. We're waiting on one. We'll do this for about another 5 to 8 minutes. We got to sit one of these quarterbacks: Burrow, Stafford, Fields.
Probably Stafford. I like him though.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's crazy that Burrow's.
It might be Joe. It might be
Burrow,
because he's not going to do a whole lot. He's not going to have to.
No, I think I'm sitting Burrow. I had an okay start in that league. I had Barkley and AJ Brown, but then I had Jacobs and Henry. So I don't know. I'm playing against my dad.
I have a guillotine league. I'm the commissioner of my guillotine league, and I have I've had Andrews and Christian Watson go for me so far, and I'm projected to be the first guy chopped, and I don't like it. So pray for me.
I shall pray. All right, Mr. Shampers. Oh, thanks as always. Good luck this weekend.
You too, brother.
I would say it back to you, but you need more than luck. You need a miracle.
Hey, it's only 1 week.
And it's only 1 league. Sounds like you're in a lot more. So,
and if you lose 1 game, who cares?
Right.
You're not going undefeated in these leagues. It's no reason to panic. But
all right, we've only got
sadly kind of funny.
Yeah, we've only got a few people on here. We don't have any more questions, so give us a good 15 minutes to get our own lineups checked over and
good luck, everybody.
So, yep.
We'll
see you guys. Week. See you guys back next week. It's nice to shake off some rust. I've been on stream in a long time. I didn't even recorded anything, so
and hungover.
Fun. And yeah. Mentally, I'm a little foggy still, but I won't be here next week. I actually have a tattoo appointment at noon. So
can't you do it from the chair?
That would be funny, but I think I'd be making some interesting faces. It's hard to focus sometimes, especially when he's doing it around my ankle. It's on my leg, so the ankle sucks.
Who's here with me next week? Do we know?
I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Maybe Rick will do. Maybe Rick will do one day.
Maybe I'll be solo.
You could. I'm sure we could find somebody on the team that'll join you.
I'll find someone somewhere if I have to.
Yeah. So
cool.
Well, because I'm about to say appointments at noon, so I got to leave my house like at 11:15. So no point even getting on here. So
all right.
We'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
Peace. Thanks, guys.